Hello, I'm Dave Koji, and welcome to the Pickleball Lounge, episode 15. The Pickleball Lounge is where I speak to influential members of the pickleball community about their involvement and experience on and off the pickleball court. Before we begin, I would like to thank Astria Pickleball for sponsoring this episode. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel to be notified of new pickleball interviews. Our special guest today is J.W. Johnson, a professional pickleball player out of Florida. JW started playing in 2011 and turned pro in 2020. He's one of the best pickleball players in the world and plays both on the PPA Tour and MLP. Whether he's playing singles, mixed doubles with his sister Georgia, or doubles with Dylan Frazier, JW is consistently doing well. I'd like to thank JW's agent, Dylan Frazier, for helping to set up this interview, because if it wasn't for Dylan, bridging the gap here, we wouldn't have had this. So JW, great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So just a random questions here I'm going to throw at you if that works. So obviously, I think when you're calm, you remain focused, and one of your defining qualities is your calm demeanor on the court. So you're displaying that calmness on the outside. Are you also calm in the inside, or is that a different story?
Yeah, on the inside, I'll either get a little bit fired up or a little bit annoyed sometimes. But yeah, that's on the inside. On the outside, on the outside, I don't show it as much. MLP, I show it a little bit more, I think, but
Yeah.
Regular PPAs, I don't do it as much so far.
Now, is that your just normal affect to be calm, or do you actually practice mental stress reducing exercises?
No, that's just normally how I am. That's how I've always been, just kind of calm. Try not to show too much emotion.
Yeah, and is that the same off the court as well, or is there a different JW we don't know about?
No, that's I might get a little animated off court, but for the most part, it's kind of the same, just calm self for the most part.
Now, your sister Georgia is also somewhat calm on the calm side too. We just brought up that way. Is your family all even keeled?
Yeah, pretty much. But she'll get a little more fiery on court than I will.
Right.
She'll like say, "Come on," and kind of bounce around a little bit and stuff like that. But yeah, basically the whole family is kind of just even keel, just kind of calm. Basically, some of us will get more fired up on the pickleball court than others, but for the most part, yeah.
So I like I mentioned before, I interviewed Dylan Frazier. He was very proud of his family and how they instilled respect, kindness, just being like an all-around good person. Do you share a similar family background, and is that why you two mesh so well together?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, I think Dylan is also kind of just calm. I'm sure he gets fired up on the inside, but he's kind of just calm like me. So I think that's partly why we play so well together. And we just played with each other for a while too, so that helps a lot as well. So
Right.
obviously he's a great player too, so it also helps.
Yeah, that does help.
Yeah.
You mentioned another podcast that you have great friendships with Dylan Federico, who I just actually interviewed today, actually earlier.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
Pablo, Gabe Tardio, and I'm sure you're
Mhm.
friendly with other players on the tour as well. But how important are those friendships to be able to share the emotional, physical toll the constant playing and traveling has on you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great to have friends on tour because you go there, you're pretty much friendly with almost everyone. And then like off tour, I mean, you can practice with each other a lot. Like I know I practice with Federico and Pablo quite a bit. I practice with Gabe quite a bit too because he lives near me. But yeah, I think that's pretty important just so you can practice with them. So that's really nice.
Now, is it a blessing and a curse to be practicing with these guys? Because you're not going to get any better practice partners, but at the same time, they're your competitors as well.
Yeah, that's true. So if you're trying to work on something new, then you're doing against them, and then they kind of know the shots in the tournament. So they'll be like, okay, this person's gonna hit this, so just cover that. And I mean, that's a little difficult, but I mean, other than that, like, I don't know, I kind of like it. I kind of like practicing against them and stuff like that. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, because you can learn stuff from them too, what they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so you're a Franklin sponsored player. Does being
Mhm.
sponsored and representing a company add any extra pressure to perform at a certain level?
Mm, I mean, a little bit, but not a lot though. So that's good. Like, I definitely don't want to be pressured a lot into like having to win everything. Otherwise, that will get into my head a lot.
Right.
But I mean, obviously, yeah, it gives a little bit of pressure just knowing that you got to perform, you got to do your best like every tournament or try to do your best every tournament. So, but I kind of like a little pressure like that. I like that.
Yeah, Fed said that Yola is really player friendly.
Mhm.
Um, do you feel the same way about Franklin? They're a good player friendly company.
Oh yeah, and they're really nice people too. So
Oh, okay.
that also helps a lot too. So great people.
Yeah. Will Franklin be coming out with any new paddles, and will you be involved in any of the process of creating the paddles?
Yeah, I will be. I think. When they're released, that's still unknown. I don't know that yet. But we're hoping to come out with some maybe sometime this year.
So I know that you, your sister, I believe Hayden and Patrick Quinn are all Franklin players. Are there any other players that are out there that I'm missing?
Well, I think Sam Query is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Um, and then others sponsored by Franklin. I don't really know
Yeah.
that much. Those are those are the main players I know.
Yeah. So is it part of your, I wouldn't say part of your job as a sponsored player, but to kind of convince other pros to kind of maybe sign on with Franklin if they're unsigned? Or is that you
Yeah,
deal with that?
yeah. I mean, I'll just like give him some paddles and say, here, try this. I mean, it's a really good paddle. And if they try and they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. I mean, it's just kind of personal preference for the other people, I think. But yeah, that's kind of how I just have other people play with the paddle, basically.
Now, did Georgia sign on with Franklin because you did, or did she like the paddle as much as you do?
I mean, a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think we both like the paddle, but we also signed like as a family, basically.
Oh, you did. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
They got the family discount rate with the
yeah,
the Johnson.
yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah,
So you're 21. Your sister, I think, is 16, right? 16? Yeah.
20 and 16, but yeah,
Oh, you're 20. Okay, 2016. You
yeah.
both turned pro in 2020. So
Hmm.
that must have mean that you were 18-ish or 17-ish. Your sister was about 13-ish.
Yeah.
About so for the viewers who don't know, what does it mean to turn pro, especially for your sister at such a young age? Like what does that entail exactly?
I mean, like it's pretty exciting when you turn pro because then you're like, um, you start to feel a little more confident. You start to feel like you can maybe do something in the sport, and
Uh,
you know, I think I think you get a different look at like different partners. So that also helps just to see like if that helps you guys win or if that helps you play a little bit better. I don't know. It just kind of mixing up partners too also helps, I think.
Right.
Um, like when you're first starting pro, so just kind of a mix of that.
So it's really it gives the indication to other professionals out there to look. I'm making my commitment to this sport. I'm going to be dedicated to it. I can be an option for you because I'm going to make I'm going to do the traveling, go to the tournaments, so I can play with you. Um,
Mm,
so that makes sense. Um,
yeah.
so your sister Annalie Waters is 16, Hayden 17, Gabe is 17, Travis Rettenmeyer is 39, Matt Rat is 45, so on and so forth. So not just at the professional level, but even at your rec play, this sport can bring many different age groups, right, together.
Hmm.
Is that one of the
Yeah.
reasons you think pickleball is becoming so popular now? Because it can extend all sorts of age ranges.
Yeah, definitely. I think like, when Gabe who is 17 will play like you said, Matt who's like 45. So I mean like, there's just like a huge or a pretty big gap range too. So I mean that's pretty funny when that happens. But I mean, um yeah, I think that's kind of what makes pickleball different from a lot of other sports. Even though I know like in tennis, like I think um like Federer was when he was still playing was like 38 or something like that, and he was playing players that were maybe like 22. I mean, I know it was not as big as a gap difference, but it's still like they're still there. But yeah, I think that's kind of what makes pickleball different than the other ones, even tennis.
So do you think pickleball does the best for the gender gap, meaning that you see men and women are more on an equal footing on the pickleball court than any other sport?
Um, yeah, yeah, I think so. I think this one is definitely different than many others. I think.
Yeah, because like Roger Federer or someone like that versus like Serena Williams, they'll destroy her. But like a Ben Johns versus Annalie Waters, he wouldn't destroy her.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like it seems like it's a much. Even your sister's amazing. Your sister probably could play against a bunch of men.
Mhm.
Um, what were your expectations when you turned pro? Did you think that you become one of the highest ranked players in the world? Was that even a possibility in your mind, or was your success more of a surprise to you?
More of a surprise because I was still playing tennis at that time, so I didn't yeah, so then I wasn't thinking too much about, being top 5 in the world in pickleball. I was still trying to make it in tennis, trying to make it to, the pro level in tennis, so pickleball, I was kinda just, it would be like a pickleball tournament, then it'd be a tennis tournament, then it'd be a pickleball, then it'd be a tennis tournament. So I was just kind of going back and forth, which was pretty difficult. But yeah, no, just definitely by surprise. I just kept going, and then eventually I just stopped tennis, and then I just kept going on with pickleball. So
Is it all surprising to you that your sister? It's what's surprising to me, probably many people, that two siblings are playing two best players in the world. Do you is that odd for you to think about? My sister and I are two amazing pickleball players, dominating in some aspects. That doesn't happen often. You get like Colin and Ben, but were you
mhm.
surprised at her success as well?
uh, no, not really, because I mean I know she was a great player from the beginning. I mean she is just like super powerful. Not like really consistent at the beginning, but like really powerful. So she just decided to keep playing and getting more consistent with her shots. Then she was going to be a really, really great player. So I wasn't too surprised with her success.
So as paddles, the technology in paddles is growing immensely. So as paddles get strong, better, faster, do you have any concern for your safety, especially your face and eyes? I know you got amazingly quick hands, no doubt about that. But is there a certain point where the they got to make sure that they're regulating the levels of how powerful these paddles can really get?
Yeah, I think so. I know a lot of other players like on the pro tour talk about this stuff. Because I mean, you are really close to the person, and if they get an overhead and you don't back up in time, then you could you could really get hurt from like an overhead or something like that. But I think they are kind of being a little more aware of the paddles because they're not like delaminating or stuff like they're not many paddles are delaminating anymore or stuff like that. So I think they're being a little more careful with that type of stuff.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. It just some of these guys are hitting it really hard. Like
Yeah.
you're getting really close.
Mhm.
The reaction time is incredible. Uh, how much practicing or drilling are you committing to on a weekly basis?
Usually like 5 to 6 days a week, and then usually pickleball is 2 to 4 hours, and then like workout conditioning is like 1.5 hours.
Now, is your sister involved with your practicing as well?
With the pickleball practice, yeah. With the conditioning, she just does stuff by herself. But yeah, for the drilling, it's usually me, my sister, Gabe, and one other person.
Okay. I'm just curious, really curious. Like usually there's sibling rivalries, arguments. Do you ever engage in those with your sister, especially on the pickleball court? Or you guys have a great relationship and that doesn't really happen?
Yeah, no, not really. Like especially like after we play, we're usually okay with each other. Maybe like I don't know, maybe an hour or two, or maybe it might even just be like 30 minutes. But we'll be fine with each other. We'll be good with each other after that.
Yeah. No, that's really
Mhm.
cool. It's really cool to be doing that with your family. So I know that does your whole family travel with you guys generally?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually it's my sister, my mom, and sometimes my dad will come to the tournaments, and we'll usually have a great time.
Right, right.
Mhm.
So, I always ask this question for all the pros I interview. Um, it's about line calling and how important is it to either use a technological advancement to line call for you guys or have line referees. What is your take on doing your own line calls? Do you see that as a hindrance to the growth of the sport? What is your take on that?
I definitely think they need more referees for sure. That way they can call the lines, because sometimes, like, say sometimes the player doesn't see it and they just call it in, or sometimes they see it like sometimes it might be on the line and they might just see it wrong and they'll call it out. So I definitely think they need a lot more referees than they have right now. And then I think the Hawkeye is what they call the challenge. I think that could be a lot better too, because sometimes the angle that they throw it in at the ball is not great. So I definitely think they need to do a lot better at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that Hawkeye is pretty good. I obviously the cost is prohibitive in some aspects, but as you
Yeah.
get more sponsor, well, as PPA Tour, MLP get more sponsors, I think those are the things that you could they probably want to invest in, I would say. Uh,
Hmm.
so uh JW, to kind of wrap up the show, I have a fun little segment here, and bear with me. So I'm going to ask you. I'm a list of a handful of players. I'm going to ask you what makes them great and what annoys you about them. Okay, we'll keep it fun. Bro, so
Okay.
first one, Dylan Frazier. One thing that makes Dylan great, one thing that annoys you about him.
Well, I'll say that what makes him great is he has a good personality. He's a good friend. He's a great pickleball player too, obviously. Now let's go to what he annoys me. I'll say whenever he tries to scare me, that's a little bit annoying sometimes. And then Yeah, we'll just leave it at him trying to scare me sometimes.
Gotcha, gotcha. Georgia Johnson.
Well, obviously, we're really good friends, and I mean brother sister too, so that helps. And uh, I mean, really great player of pickleball too, and annoys me. Mm, Not too sure on that one.
Oh, okay, okay. Um,
Yeah.
this is someone actually going to have an upcoming show. Gabe Tardia.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, again, great pickleball player, and you know, I'll say what is good is that he helps me with the Spanish sometimes.
Oh,
So
nice.
whenever he doesn't cuss at me, I ask him, what does this mean, and he tells me. So that's good. He's always playing Spanish songs, so that also helps me with the Spanish. So that's good. And then what he does to annoy me, hmm, I'm not sure about that either. Maybe
Oh,
maybe when he speaks in Spanish, and I'm like, "What'd you say?" And then he says, "Don't worry about it." I'm like, "No,
don't
you gotta tell me now."
don't worry about it. All right, next,
Yeah.
Federico Stextrud.
uh, he's funny. Well, I'll say that he always looks like he's angry, which is pretty funny to me. So that's pretty good. And then um, let's see, great pickleball player too. And annoys me. I don't know. Maybe just when he's cussing me out in Spanish. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, you get cussed out by a lot of Spanish speaking people, JW.
I know. I don't know why. I mean, I don't even do anything, and then they start cussing at me. I'm like, what did I do?
Probably winning.
Well, yeah, that. But yeah, I
uh,
guess so.
next, Pablo Tellez.
Kind of same thing. I mean, uh, he doesn't always act like he's angry though. I'll say that much.
That's
But
good.
he does, yeah. But he does trash talk a lot when when we're playing rec games or tournament play, which is pretty funny to me. So I think that's really funny. That should go for Federico too, actually. And then um, uh, hmm, I don't know about the annoying part. I'm not sure yet.
Well, I think that this
Maybe
last.
just when he wins.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say maybe when he wins, maybe that's when it annoys me.
So this last person, I know for sure you have something that annoys you about him. All right, James Ignatowicz.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll say that he is. You never have to worry about him on the pickleball court because he's always gonna have tons of caffeine in him. So he's gonna be extra ready, extra split steps, and all that kind of stuff. Let's see, maybe off the court. And well, just the annoying part. Let's see. Hmm. Maybe that he has a podcast and I don't.
I see that you're so you are on his podcast. So at least you're supporting him, so that's nice of you.
Yeah, I guess so.
JW, is there anything else that upcoming or anything about Frank or anything else that you want to let the viewers know?
Yeah, just that. Hopefully we're gonna be coming out with some new panels later this year, like I already told before, and yeah, hopefully a lot of people can try them pretty soon. I hope and see if we can get some more Franklin sponsored people.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great. Well, JW, keep it short and sweet for you for your day, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
All right, you too.
See you.